In the single bark formation, double A under center. The noob flinked out to the right. Arya the tailback. D is in a fur 3 defense. Ball is snapped. It's a flea flicker. Touchdown Bears! The Two Pup Conversion to come.
And welcome back to Two Pup Conversion. I'm Double A on this special draft night. I'm ready. I think that my guests are ready. We got the noob today.
Woo! Hello!
We have the Christian Warrior.
Hello.
And we have Perrier.
Hello, everybody.
And no, Perrier is not a ballerina.
I'm gonna find water.
So, right before the draft here, we had the question of exactly why there was bicycles in the green room, and the thought is that they're gonna ride across the stage like Jigsaw. So, I mean, that's pretty much the conversations we've had so far. Nothing intelligent.
I was thinking maybe it's like the people who don't win the draft, at least they get a nice bicycle.
Who wins the draft?
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, there's winners and losers, but I mean, the losers get bicycles.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you didn't get picked. Nobody wants to play with you. Here's a free bike.
I mean, to be fair, probably the ones that are getting drafted later, that's all they can afford. The ones who are getting drafted in that top 10 probably get the Lamborghinis and stuff, and meanwhile, everybody beyond just gets a nice bicycle.
Isn't there a mode like that in Madden where you can buy like a Lamborghini and then you can buy like, I don't know, a Camry?
Oh, I mean, that's NHL.
Oh, NHL. That's what it is.
I mean, good thought. You actually do listen to me when I talk?
Only sometimes.
Hopefully, the Bears will not be the team holding the bike at the end of the draft.
Is that even a saying? Are we just making stuff up now? All right, guys. So there's a lot of question marks going into this draft. I think that we have...
Well, we see Shedeur Sanders here. It's an empty couch.
I mean, that's pretty fitting, isn't it? Shedeur Sanders.
Did they forget to invite him?
If he were here, this is where he would sit, his royal butt.
Oh, I like that they just went away. I think he was entering the room. Like, okay, you know what? Cut to the other camera, guys. So, what do you guys think is going to be the biggest thing that's going to shape this draft? So, obviously, we know Cam Ward is going to be going number 1. I think that that's one of the most ill-kept secrets in the entire draft. But what do you think is going to be that pick that's going to shape the rest of it?
I think the biggest thing is just trades and how teams pick, and then based on that, how trades will go. Because it sounds like you have a lot of teams in the top 10 that are not completely set on one guy. And so you just don't know if they're going to be trading. So I think we're going to see a lot of trades today.
I think Shedeur Sanders is going to be the key to when things start changing. Because he seems to be kind of, some teams think he's the guy. Some guys think that he isn't the guy and he won't even make it tonight. And he won't be picked till tomorrow. So if he does get picked early, it could change the whole landscape of the draft.
Okay, so do you think that, so Cam Ward goes number 1. Is Shedeur the second quarterback off the board?
That's a good question. It just takes one team to like the guy, and he could be. Did you hear there was an unnamed source that said that the interview he had with Shedeur was absolutely the worst interview he's ever had with a player. But he was an unnamed assistant GM.
Okay, let's be fair. If you're going to be talking crap about anybody, I mean, do you really want to be talking crap about Deion Sanders' kid? I would be an unnamed source as well. I'd be terrified.
I think back to your question about if Shedeur's a second quarterback, the difference is that Jackson Dart, everyone kind of has an idea of how good he is, whereas Shedeur, it's people either think that he's not even good, he's a mid-round pick, and some people think that he's even the best quarterback in the draft. So it's hard to say if he'll go second because Jackson Dart could go before him because he's more of a, okay, we know what we're getting, whereas Shedeur is more of a question mark. So you kind of get the mystery box. Do you want the mystery box or do you want to know what you're getting?
Your analysis is beautiful. We're laughing because the mystery's been solved. Apparently it's Roger Goodell and the top prospects that are riding bikes around the stage.
No, that's not the top prospects. That's Lil Wayne, Anthony.
Oh, shoot. Lil Wayne's not getting drafted this year? Okay, how many of these guys can we actually name? I don't know. I know Goodell and...
That's Clay Matthews.
Clay Matthews. Okay, good call, good call. Okay.
I still don't understand the point of the bikes being ridden on stage, but I guess we'll never know.
I do know that it's a tradition in Green Bay. I think it's like their first practice in summer or something like that, where they actually ride their bikes from practice facility or something with like kids to like their first practice, something like that. I don't like Green Bay, so I don't know all their traditions, but I know I've seen videos of it.
I think Wisconsin's known for having more bars per capita than any state, so maybe they all get drunk afterwards and then they all have to ride their bikes home.
I think you can still get a DUI on a bicycle, though, so...
Can you?
I'm pretty sure.
I know you can on a tractor. I mean...
Do you know from personal experience?
I mean, there's a reason I'm not allowed in Green Bay anymore.
Riding lawnmower, you can definitely get a DUI on that.
Oh, gosh. Can you imagine that?
What if you do the old horse and buggy like the Amish? Can you get a DUI on that?
Kind of driving, so...
Yeah, I mean...
I think I saw it on Family Guy once.
Well, that horse exploded. You can't tell his tail. He exploded. Oh, gosh. This is gonna be an interesting draft, boys and girls. And girl.
Arya's here, too.
Okay, boys and girls. Should have just kept it there. Should have quit while I was ahead.
Yeah, last I saw her, she was sitting with her snoot pressed up against the window, watching the world go by instead.
And why is she tired?
Because she went to camp today, and it was the Kentucky Derby, and she got her picture taken, and she played with labradoodles.
Snickerdoodles?
Labradoodles.
You know where my mind is.
We just had pizza. You don't need cookies.
I'm a bottomless pit. Oh,
How do they pick what city it's going to be in for the draft? Is it just like a rotationary thing?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I think, was it last year that it was in Detroit?
I think it was.
You look at me like I would know that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You just happened to be the one.
Oh, they just held up something that said the Bears still suck.
You know what? Just wait. Just wait. We can continue to do that, but you know what? We're gonna come get you eventually, Pack. I mean, kind of bringing it back to actual stats here. The Bears and the Packers had the exact same interdivision record last year. It was 1-5, and we were a missed kick away from making them 0-6 in the division. So make fun of us as long as you want, Packers, but we're gonna come get you eventually.
And the Bears did split with the Packers last year. Remember, they won that last game of the season to split the series. Had they not won that game, their draft pick, I think, it might have been like 6 or 7.
Yeah, 6 or 7.
Yeah, they would have been in a lot better position, but still was worth it.
Tennessee's on the clock. Oh gosh, 10 minutes. All right.
I was going to ask you, I know I've asked you in past podcasts where you think that the Bears are going to fall this season. Do you feel like the picks that the Bears make tonight is going to make or break or change what you're predicting their record is going to be this year?
That's a good question. I think the thing is there's a lot of great things that the Bears did on the offseason. I think the thing, though, is you need to find and infuse some of the youth, because it's something where, like Joe Tooney's 32. I mean, it's a great pickup, don't get me wrong, but it's something in which it's really important to start building through the draft. That's where the Bears have struggled, is really being able to identify that talent early and be able to get those players to build around. So I think that this could go a long way. I think what's going to be super interesting is to see how aggressive are the Bears. Do they trade up? Do they trade down? Do they stay pat? And if they do stay pat, who are they picking? Because this is Ben Johnson's first pick as the Chicago Bears coach. I mean, all of us are excited to see what he can do. I mean, you know how excited I was when we found out that we signed him. But, it's really important to see how is Ben Johnson going to mold this team.
That's fair. Well, and I guess the other thing, too, is that with the draft, you're picking the players of tomorrow. So you're not necessarily expecting that they're going to be ready to go, first-line players right off the bat. You're kind of hoping to develop them into something, too. So it may not be this season that we see their full potential, right?
Not necessarily. In other sports, like let's say MLB, you draft the guy and he's not coming up for the next couple of years. In football, your first, second, even third round picks, you expect them to be instantaneous starters.
Interesting.
I mean, it's really important to be picking somebody that you see as an immediate starter. And yes, granted, there is some cases, like the infamous draft Patrick Mahomes, sits behind Alex Smith for a year. The infamous, the entire saga with the Packers, with Favre, and then draft Rodgers to sit behind Favre, and then Jordan Love behind Rodgers. So, yes, you can do it, but, for the most part, outside of quarterback, a lot of the times you're really drafting people to start immediately.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We know who Tennessee's going to draft. Why are they still on the clock? Just make your pick.
You know how this stuff goes. It's all about the drama. Not that there's any drama here. Let's be fair. When's the last time we looked at it and we didn't know who was going to go first overall? Normally you kind of have an idea. Like last year, was there any question that it was going to be Caleb going number 1? No.
Well, they're just showing Shedeur Sanders highlights, so.
Why?
Hey, it's Shedeur Sanders' world. We just live in it.
Very wise. Thank you for that. That's why we brought you on the podcast today. For those pearls of wisdom. Yeah,
I feel like you got to keep a running tally of like pearls of wisdom by Perrier.
Well, here's a pearl of wisdom.
Okay, go for it.
I think that whichever team drafts Shedeur Sanders, their coach has to be pretty sure in his position as the coach of that team. Because if they do that and they start to struggle, you're going to hear whispers of Daddy coming in to replace the coach of the team. So hopefully he'll end up with a team that has like a Pittsburgh that where the coach has his job cemented in.
Do you really see a team just giving over the reins to Dion after 1 year?
I guess it depends on how bad it gets with Shedeur. If it's like, hey, he needs to have Daddy coaching him, you don't know how to do it.
I know.
Because you would think he's got ideas of his own that are different than than a coach would have, because his dad has coached him his whole life.
I didn't realize this. I didn't realize Shedeur had only started 2 years at Colorado. For some reason, I just thought he was at least a 3-year starter. It was only 2 years.
But he was at the HBCU before
That's
that.
fair. That's a good point.
What was it? Something State? Jackson State?
That's a good point.
So for the noobs in the room, who's Deion Sanders?
So Deion Sanders is one of the greatest running backs of all time.
Gotcha.
No, not running back.
I'm sorry, corner.
I would have believed you. It's okay.
Yeah. This is the problem about inviting more people who know football. I can't get away with anything. Yeah, Deion is a Hall of Famer, football legend, and he had taken over Colorado. Colorado was completely irrelevant when he took over, and then he came in there and he was able to turn the program into something that was a lot more respectable.
Took over as a player or as a coach?
Coach.
Gotcha.
So then his son...
So he actually does have coaching experience and could potentially coach his son in the NFL.
Yeah, because he coached his son, Shedeur, for the past 2 years at Colorado as the quarterback.
But that was his first assignment. He wasn't a coach before or anything. He just
right.
did it for his son. So that is a question if he'll be a coach long term or if he just did this for his son. He says that he's going to stay at Colorado, but we don't know.
There's another Sanders kid, isn't there?
Now there's Shiloh. I think his name is Shiloh. Still at Colorado.
Yeah.
But no one talks about him. I don't think he's as good.
If his dad stops coaching after Shedeur leaves, then I feel like Shiloh's going to probably understand.
Resent him for that.
He's not the favorite child.
All right, guys, pick is in. How long are they going to dilly-dally?
Dilly-dilly.
Oh, that dilly-dilly. Dilly-dally. All right, everyone in agreement it's going to be Cam Ward?
Yeah, they already said it will be, so if it's not, then they're really playing chess.
Right.
Come on. With the first pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Cameron Ward.
Oh my goodness.
Miami.
All right. Well,
Unbelievable.
yeah, sure.
The most unbelievable thing is just that we're still booing Roger Goodell, so that's fun.
Yeah.
That tradition has carried over into the 2025 draft.
It doesn't matter what city you're in. It just that's just how it is. We're just gonna boo them.
So are all the picks going to have to ride bicycles onto the stage too?
Can you imagine what would happen is if you got drafted really high and then you rode a bicycle and fell off the stage? That was the shortest NFL career of all time.
Oh, we have a trade
Career-ending
alert
injury.
from IHOP.
Trade alert.
Oh, Browns traded number 2.
Fourth round pick, number 120.
To Jacksonville.
And the first round pick of the Jaguars in 2026. The Jaguars in turn get the number 2 pick, a 4th round pick, and a 6th round pick. The Jaguars are on the clock.
Oh
The
my
youngest
God.
general manager in the
Mind blown.
Oh my God.
At the age of 34.
Well, I put $5 on Abdul Carter number 2, so that's what we're hoping for.
Oh my God. Okay.
All right, that is a remarkable development.
Travis Hunter.
Immediately here, and so as
No, that's a rumor. That's not
That's a
confirmed.
rumor.
All right, so
Pick's not in yet.
just to recap there, Browns are trading number 2 pick and a 4th rounder, so 104, and a 6th round pick, 200, to the Jaguars. Jaguars are then trading away the 5th, a 2nd, so 36 overall, a 4th round pick, 126, and their 2026 first round pick.
Jacksonville
Interesting.
has been bad for a couple of years, so that could be a pretty good pick next year if they don't really turn it around this year. So that could be really valuable for the Browns for next year.
Yeah, I mean to get a 2nd plus another first. I mean, I think that was a good call by the Browns, honestly.
My question is, why are we just finding out now? Because we knew that Cam Ward was going 1. So why are we just learning about the trade now and not before? Because
My opinion, I think because the goal is that I think Cleveland was shopping around the pick to see if they can get anything higher, all the way up to this last second.
yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I think, like I said, I think the Browns got a really, really good deal here. I mean, I think what it says to me is the Browns obviously did a lot of research on both Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter. They must not have fallen in love with either one of them.
What did the Browns get in return?
Browns are getting the 5th overall, pick number 36, pick number 126, and a 2026 first rounder.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a good haul when we're considering that there's a lot of teams that were saying they wanted to trade down. There's really not a market necessarily, as much as like other years in which it was quarterback rich. What do you guys think? Why are you trading up? What are you going after?
The thing is, they felt there was only 3 impact players in the draft, 1, 2, and 3, and apparently the Jaguars wanted to get in on that and to get the second one.
But who
Who are they gonna
are
take?
you mortgaging the future for?
It's either Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. There's no question.
Yes, I know that. I mean, I do think what is interesting, you guys, though, is my dream guy is, that sounded really weird, my dream would be to get Mason Graham. But Mason Graham has been mocked in every single draft I have seen. To Jacksonville. Jacksonville's not taking Mason Graham anymore.
What if they did? Just really mess up the future for that.
I mean, Pats would be extremely excited because the Pats will get one of Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter.
The one thing that I did think is that with Cleveland picking at 2, they would try and get somebody for Myles Garrett
Yeah.
to match him up with, whether that's Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. But to trade down, they're not going to get one of those guys. So,
Or it's Mason Graham.
yeah, it still
Okay.
could be Mason Graham.
All right.
Pick is in.
Pick is in.
There's no way that was 10 minutes.
Yeah, but the thing is that it resets as soon as the pick is in. So it's something where,
so
like...
then continuing to talk forever before
Yeah.
you walk the
Yeah,
stage.
so I know once they announced the pick, it said that the next team on the clock had 7.5 minutes
Yeah.
left. So
Gotcha.
Correct. Can you imagine having to make decisions this quickly?
I don't think you can handle that.
Oh God, no.
You can't handle making decisions in like 10 business days. Okay, I'm confused by his suit. Why is there one singular strap that goes across to his nipular region?
Is that the anatomical term, the nipular region?
Yes.
Okay. Fine. You heard it here.
I
By
kept
the
thinking he
noob.
was wearing like a purse strap or something. But it's just part of the suit.
Yeah. I told you I don't like that pink suit, but you know what? Apparently we're doing a fashion show now.
Well, they just keep showing him, so I think I lost my $5.
No, I don't think it's over yet.
They're only showing him.
I know they're only showing him, but
It's kind of hard to not show him when he's that bright.
yeah, shine bright like a diamond. The diamond is Travis Hunter.
I mean, talking about like the fashion show part, how on earth did they have custom jerseys so fast? Where Ward went up on stage and immediately they were like, "Here's this Jaguar," or no, not
Oh
Jaguars,
yeah, no,
the
they have
jersey.
basically the top picks always have all the jerseys. So like of every single team.
That's such
All
a
right,
waste.
here we go. Let's see what the Jags are doing.
And with the second pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Travis Hunter, wide receiver, defensive back from Colorado.
Okay. Good luck with that.
There goes your $5.
Yeah. Hope he
Yeah.
doesn't do well just because of that. Because I had $5 on that.
The Travis Hunter thing is just so bizarre to me. I mean, every expert that I was listening to said that he's not the best wide receiver and he's not the best corner. It's just because he plays both. It's
Well, does Jacksonville need the versatility?
Yeah, I mean,
the team
could.
stinks, so they could use it on both sides, but just does somebody have the motor to do it on both sides? Because it just, we see other people, so like Shohei Ohtani in baseball does that. So he plays, he's a hitter and he's also a pitcher, but he doesn't have to do it consecutively. So if he's the pitcher, then he pitches, and then the next day he's just a hitter. So
Right.
we don't see him doing both sides. So football is just such a tough sport, and you have to be going so much. As a corner, you have to be blocking the best wide receiver on the other side. As a wide receiver, you have to be running routes, so you have to be running around for literally the entire game. No breaks. So I think it's going to be tough. I mean, I don't know if we've ever seen it be done at a high level. So, I mean, if he's the first, a lot of people didn't think Ohtani could do it, but I think this is different, and I don't know if he'll be able to do it.
Yeah.
And college is different than the pros. You might be able to get away with it in college, but the talent level is so much different than it is at the NFL level. So he's going to be covering some of these top receivers in the game, and that is going to be difficult for him to do that. So we'll see if he has the energy to still be a wide receiver under those conditions.
I think what does help is Jacksonville did draft Brian Thomas Jr. last year, so they have somebody. So it's not that Travis Hunter's going to be all by himself. I mean, I'm not saying that means that it's going to be any easier, but it's going to help take some of the pressure off at least.
Yeah, but then if they have a good wide receiver, then why wouldn't you just take a generational talent on the defensive side? So take Abdul Carter, and I can get $27.
Yeah. Hidden motives here.
Didn't know this was going to be a betting podcast too. Now, did ya?
I know, right? You don't know what you're going to get here.
Unfortunately, it's not beneficial since this isn't live though, so he
Right.
can't really give you recommendations.
Right.
I mean, I can tell you what happened, so if you can go back in time, then that'll help you. But
Pick
Definitely.
me up on your way back in time so that I can put some money down.
yeah.
The Giants pick is in.
What do you guys think, Abdul Carter?
It has to be Abdul Carter.
God, I think that the thing with the Giants is like they already have defensive power. I mean, they got Keaton Thibodeau, they've got Brian Burns that they traded for last offseason, like we saw in Hard Knocks. I mean, yeah, I guess complete the defensive front. But I mean, going back to Travis Hunter, I mean, he was really successful in college at doing both positions. I mean, Last year he racked up over 1,200 yards through the air. I mean, he's not. It's going to be very interesting to see what he can and cannot do in the NFL when you're playing both sides. And it might be something where maybe he only plays 50% on one side, but he is playing both sides. It's just he's not playing every single snap as a corner. But
So then, if he's not the best at either side, then playing 50% of both sides, you really didn't accomplish anything by getting him.
right.
Because then you could have just gotten the best defensive guy or the best offensive guy available, and so his only value is playing both sides. So if he does not play both sides 100%, you really didn't accomplish anything by getting him.
Right. Yeah. That's why I think it's going to be very interesting to see how they utilize him. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how successful he is in the NFL. I mean, if we're going based on awards, he has a ton of awards throughout college. I mean,
I don't know. As the awards got closer, I don't really agree with that he won all those awards. Like, he won the Bolitnikoff, so the best wide receiver in college football. Nobody thinks that he was the best wide receiver in college football. So it's just that people heard Travis Hunter and that he played both sides, and so it was more the name than actually being the best.
Yeah.
At that.
No, that's a really good point. That's a really good point.
Oh, looks like
All
he's
right.
going back out to the stage.
The third pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Abdul Carter, defensive end, Penn State.
It's a good pick.
So that one goes as expected.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's all what we expected here. I mean, Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter going 1, 2, 3.
No surprise there. Now it begins. The draft begins with 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting to see what direction does New England go in. I mean, I think New England was sitting there praying that one of them would drop either Carter or Hunter. Obviously, that didn't happen. So now, pivot. What are you going to do? I mean, if you were the Patriots, you had to have known that this was the most likely situation. I mean, you had to have known that probably Carter and Hunter are both going to be off the board.
Yeah.
So now, what do you do?
What do they need?
I think the biggest thing is they need to be able to protect Drake May. They drafted him 3rd overall last year, and I think it's super important. And their offensive line was extremely porous last year. I think that they could go in a couple different directions. Their biggest needs per ESPN was offensive tackle, wide receiver, running back, safety, and edge. I think at this point, just from what I have seen, I think wide receivers is probably not where they're going to go, just because there is no wide receiver that is going to be slotted into that 4th overall pick. Could I see this being a spot in which Will Campbell goes out of LSU? Sure. Yeah, no, I could see that. The other thing that I've heard rumored is, do the Pats shock the world and take Ashton Genty for it? That is one of their needs, is running back. I think anything is possible with this pick here, and I think it's going to continue to be a pivotal moment to just see how the rest of this draft is going to shake out.
Do you think there's any likelihood that they might trade down because they're not 100% committed to anybody in 4?
My guess is this. I don't think that there is a team that wants to trade up to 4 right now, because your top 2 guys, besides Cam Ward, because not every team needs a quarterback, obviously, are off the board. So who are you so in love with that you're afraid you're going to miss? And
you want to pay top 4 money for?
Yeah. I mean, it's a good question. I just don't know if there's anybody that is that great on the board that somebody wants to trade up. I'm not saying that there's not great talent. I mean, we're only 3 picks in. However, I think that the price to come up is probably going to be steeper than you're willing to pay for whoever's on the board still.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But if you are in love with a guy, I could see it, just because it's like, okay, who is that next guy?
Yeah.
And then it's not really that deep. So it's like, okay, if you're like, hey, I need just a really good tackle, then it's like, okay, I'll trade up. And if Will Campbell gets picked, there is Membu, but Membu is just for one side. I think it's the right tackle side.
Right tackle,
So
yeah.
you could have that. If you're like, oh, it's Mason Graham. Mason Graham's gone, then there is no second option.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
Oh, we have Shedeur Sanders, another shot of his couch. We still don't know where he is. If there was a Shedeur Sanders, this is where he would be, but he's not there.
And I think my favorite thing is centered in the middle. It's his perfect timing. So great. It's his perfect timing, but he's not even on the couch. So fantastic. Great.
So why is he down in Texas when everybody else is up here?
Not everybody's up here. It's like they invite only a certain amount of people up to the green room. And
I thought Shedeur was going to go high, though, no?
we don't know. Shedeur is one of the biggest X factors in this entire draft. It's something where they had mocked him at one point as high as 2, which obviously didn't happen because now we're at pick 4, but as high as 2 and as low as going in the second round. So we just don't know what's going to happen.
Gotcha.
I mean, my guess was Shedeur might go at 9 to the Saints, but I don't know. I mean, around this table, we have some people that are saying that Shedeur's not even the second quarterback in this draft. So
yeah, the over/under was 2.5 quarterbacks in the first round. So Shedeur went, then there's a chance that there'd be a third one, and there's a chance there wouldn't be until the second round.
Yeah, I think that's just why this draft is so interesting. You don't know what you're gonna get. You don't know what some of these teams are thinking. I mean, I think if you're a team like, let's say, Pittsburgh, you're not going to necessarily admit the fact that you're in love with a quarterback because you're hoping that somebody slips to you. You just don't know what you're going to get out of this draft. And I think it's going to get a heck of a lot more exciting once we get back here with the Pats pick,
Yeah, and they knew it going into the draft, too, because last year there was maybe 6 quarterbacks taken in the first round.
It was an insane amount. I think it was like 6 in the top 12.
Yeah.
Which is just, I mean, that is record as far as for amount of quarterbacks taken.
Yeah, so they used them up last year, and this year they knew it was going to be lean. I heard next year is going to be a good quarterback year again.
That's what I'm hearing as well. Which is sorry, go ahead.
I was going to ask, is that because of the thing we talked about with like the whole COVID hold or whatever? Is
the
that,
NIL?
Yeah, so is that something where like all of the good QBs are going to be rolling out of college next year because this year they held back?
That's part of it. There's just some years that are very quarterback rich, and there's certain ones that are not. I mean, there was times in which, there was one quarterback taken in the first round, and like in that year, it was Kenny Pickett to the Steelers, and Kenny Pickett was not a first-round talent. I mean, I think we can all agree on that. There's just certain years that are better than others, and this year, it's really very hit or miss with quarterbacks. I think that you could take a lottery ticket on some of these guys, but there's absolutely no guarantee that they're going to amount to much.
Well, the thing is with this NIL, these guys make good money.
Oh,
when they're in college, they might actually make more as a college quarterback in a big program than they will as a rookie in the NFL, as like a top 10 pick.
Right.
I mean, which is just nuts to think about. That they would actually make more by staying in college than if they went into the NFL. But you also can't get to the big NFL money, so that second contract, until you're in the NFL. So you don't start that timeline. So it's interesting.
So where do we think the Pats are going?
I say Will Campbell.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised. I'm 50-50 on Will Campbell or trading down if somebody else really loves somebody.
Like I said, I just don't know who that would be to trade up for right now. And I also wonder who the Browns had their eyes on. I mean, yes, obviously we're going to find out in one pick here, but I mean, who did they see? Who did they say, you know what? That's going to be our guy. We're willing to trade down and miss out on Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter.
Pick is in for the Patriots.
All right. Let's go to Roger Goodell.
With the 4th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Will Campbell, tackle, LSU.
The young man was finished.
Gonna get some protection for Drake May. I mean, I think it makes sense. I mean, it was their top need. I think the big question was just where is he gonna slot in? I mean, I know the big storyline has been, does Will Campbell have short arms? I mean, let's be honest, Will Campbell has longer arms than any of us probably combined. But, you know, other than that. Oh, look at him shaking his arms.
You see these guys like this, and they're just like an average Joe on the street, you know?
I mean, yeah, so then you see the measurables of 6'5", 319 pounds, and it's like, never mind.
But he could outrun all of us, so.
Oh, 100%.
Most definitely.
He may be a big boy, but that train could run fast.
These guys are just absolutely built like tanks.
Now that Cleveland's moved down to 5, do they have a need for a running back? Is that one of their needs? Do you know?
It's hard to say. It's
Yeah,
hard to
they
say
could.
because they have Nick Chubb, who had a season-ending injury 2 years ago, then came back last year, but wasn't as good, and he's not super young. So, I mean, could they use it? Yeah. They also are just not a great team, so it's hard to say. They also, I mean, they need a young quarterback, so they could use a quarterback, but I don't know if they like any of the quarterbacks there.
Okay, does this change your mind at all? Nick Chubb is a free agent.
Oh.
Does that change your mind at all about the running back crew?
So, who do they have on their depth chart? Because I know they had Kareem Hunt, but then Kareem Hunt then got moved
Right, because
to
Kansas
Kansas City.
City, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think right now, if I were to look up and down,
They have Jerome Ford, who one of those guys that you have on fantasy. Is he great? No. Is he horrible? No. But just a good guy to put in there. In 2023, he had 813 yards, so ain't good. Now, could they use a difference maker? Yeah, but also they just have a lot of holes. They have a lot of holes, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Defense, they still, even last year, had a good defense. They still have Myles Garrett. They were able to come up with a deal with him to stay, and a lot of that was just money. I mean, he said, I want to go. They said, we'll just give you more than anyone else, and he's like, oh, I guess I will stay. I like this place. So
yeah,
they could use something on the offensive side. Now, you could get Genti. Is that kind of putting a Ferrari in a trailer park? Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, but I mean, it still is a Ferrari. So.
Right. And meanwhile, the guys you have throwing the ball is Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and eventually the creeper known as Deshaun Watson. I mean, yeah, the offense would have to run primarily through Genti, but yeah, I mean, it's a pick. What are you guys thinking? Is he coming up to the podium here?
I'm going to say Genti.
I'm going to get my heart broken. It's going to be Mason Graham. Because my thing is, I keep getting stuck on they had to have promised Myles Garrett something. Because Myles Garrett went from get me the hell out of Cleveland to I'm going to stick here. Why? What did you promise Myles Garrett to make him stay? I don't feel like saying, oh, we're going to trade down. It made Myles Garrett go, you know what? Son of a bitch, I'm in. Like, it's just, I don't think so.
Or it's just they gave him so much money that he's like, you know, team success isn't worth over $100 million.
It just looks weaker when he specifically said it's not about the money. And then they offered him this big contract, and he's like, it's all about the money. It's okay.
I was wrong. The money is good.
I mean, is any of us really going to turn down $40 million?
I'd be
to play
happy
a
with
game?
$1 million, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, that's, per season. Or just in general.
I would just like some money, please. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I mean, I guess that's acceptable. I'm very fascinated to see what the Browns are going to do here.
As we talk about money, how much would it take you to become a Green Bay Packers fan since this draft is in Green Bay?
There's not enough
Ponder
money
on it. Ponder on it. After this pick, we can talk about it.
Fine. I will think about it, but I know my answer already. just not. I don't know. Okay,
Here we go.
so let's see. What did Cleveland do?
With the fifth pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Mason Graham.
Damn it!
Defensive tackle,
Damn it!
Michigan.
After all of the speculation about all of the surprises we may get.
Yes, I'm right. And yes, they broke my heart, but I mean, to a certain extent, it makes sense to me. I mean, that would make Myles Garrett very happy. Now you get to play with the best defensive tackle in this draft. Not bad. Not bad. I know he's going to be very disappointed tomorrow. Shane Norling of ESPN 1000 put together a prayer circle that Mason Graham would drop to the Bears, but unfortunately the prayer circle is unsuccessful.
Yeah, so maybe your thought on Myles Garrett was right. He stuck around, and now he's got Mason Graham next to him on the line.
The thing is that Cleveland had the most or the least points for in all of football last year. So you did not accomplish anything.
Defensively, they weren't bad. The Cleveland, it really wasn't the need.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I'm looking at the depth chart, I mean, at defensive tackle, you had Malik Collins, you had Shelby Harris. I mean, I could kind of see it's not that you're stacking up a bunch of talent at defensive tackle. I mean, you really could use another guy there, somebody like a Mason Graham. I'm just disappointed because I really wanted him to go to the Bears, but
He gone.
Well, I mean, that means we're going to be moving on to the Raiders at 6. What are we thinking here, boys and girls?
What does Tom Brady want?
Genty.
That's what I think. I think I'd be very shocked if the Raiders did not grab Genty here. I mean,
It's a splash move.
And Pete Carroll is famous for taking running backs in the first round. I mean, it makes sense, especially with Carroll taking over this season in Vegas. I mean, it makes sense.
You see Tom Brady in the draft room there for the Raiders?
I feel like it's like a giant I Spy. Do you spy Brady? I don't.
That's just one of those things of Seattle just kind of shuffled around. So they got rid of Geno Smith, and then they got Sam Darnold. So It's like, I kind of feel like they're very similar, just Sam Darnold is younger. So if you get 5-6 years of youth, then maybe it's worth it.
Our pick is in. This whole running back discussion, they saw Saquon Barkley win a Super Bowl in Philadelphia, but the thing to remember is Philadelphia was stacked. They put him on top of a championship team that they already had. When he was at the Giants, he did a lot of losing, even though he was a great running back.
100%.
So that could happen again. The running back doesn't make the team.
All right, here we go.
In the 2025 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Ashton Genty, running back. What does he say?
All right. Well, I mean, there it is. There goes Ashton Genty.
You saw that coming.
I mean, I think that there was just certain... I think that the thing that's amazing to me is Cam Ward 1, I think we all predicted. I think Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter going 2-3, we predicted. We just did not realize that it was going to go Jaguars too. That was not what we were expecting. I think Will Campbell is kind of, okay. I think Mason Graham going 5. We thought that was going to be the Jags, but he still went 5. Ashton Genty to the Raiders, kind of thought that was going to happen. I mean, I think you're starting to kind of make an impact into those players that I would have been happy with the Bears taking a 10. I'm a little bit concerned now.
The one thing is that we'll see if Ashton Genty's, he's very powerful, stuff like that, but he's 5'8", and when he just hugged his family, he's the smallest one in his family, which is very interesting. His mom is taller than him.
That is pretty terrifying. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That could be the speed, though. As long as they can't get their hands on him, then.
Yes, my concern though is the offensive line. I mean, if you were running down a really powerful offensive line, I'd be a little bit more sure, but I mean, I'm looking at Colton Miller, Jordan Meredith, Jackson Powers Johnson, Dylan Perham, and DJ Glaze. I mean, none of those guys really make me go, oh yeah, great. That's the offensive line I want to run behind. I mean, I cannot believe I'm saying this, but the Bears line is a hell of a lot better than that. That's something we've been able to say for a very long time, my friends, but I mean, it's definitely true now.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be really interesting. Oh, cool.
How tall is Goodell? I feel like Genty doesn't actually look that small compared to him.
Well, yeah, Roger Goodell is not a giant. Roger Goodell is approximately 5 feet 11 inches, and his weight is not publicly available. Thank you, AI.
So going back to the Browns pick.
Yeah.
Earlier we talked about that next year's draft is a quarterback draft.
Yes.
The Browns got 2 first-round picks next year.
That's a good
So
point.
if they could build that defense and bring it into next year and then draft the quarterback next year, and they have 2 first-round picks, and there's a good chance they could have like a top 2-3 pick again because they don't look like they're going to be that good, they could set something up pretty well going forward.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really, really good point. I mean, kind of just take the L this year, you know, and you know what? If I'm not mistaken, I think Deshaun Watson's deal is coming off after this year.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
So now you get the money next year. You take the L. You build up that defense. You're right. Yeah, take the quarterback next year. If it's something where, you know, you're not in the top 5, but there's a quarterback you fall in love with, now you have 2 first-round picks to move up. I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Look at how slight a build he is. Even his shoulders look small. He looks like the guy that sat next to you in geometry class.
What did you just say? Geometry? I love that class.
This has been Pearls of Wisdom with Perrier.
Yeah,
Right.
you have to say Anthony's geometry class because I went to school with the guy that got drafted to the NFL as a running back. So
Right.
can't talk
Yeah,
about
right.
can't talk about my geometry class.
Right. It's interesting because Ashton Genty has some of the best stats of all time for a running back in college. I'm not saying that always translates well to the NFL, but I mean, he was really successful in college.
He was, but I was watching these highlights. Maybe it's because he wore that blue jersey and the turf was also blue, so maybe they couldn't find him because of the blue turf.
Shouldn't that apply to everybody on Boise State then? And that's only home games. I like the thought. However, okay, can you take even a slight guess at how many rushing yards he had last year with rushing yards for Boise last year?
2,200,
Higher.
Higher than 22?
Yes.
2,400,
Higher.
26.
2601.
Wow. Where does that rank all time?
I believe second overall, just behind Barry Sanders. Which is insane. I mean, when you
Yeah.
get put in a conversation second behind Barry Sanders, I mean, he's doing something right. I think the thing that was super interesting with Genty is that in 2023 they were using him in a couple of different ways. So he had 1,300 yards on the ground, and then he still had 43 receptions for 569 yards. But last year, once they saw what he was like on the ground, suddenly he has 374 rushing attempts for 2,601 yards, and then they cut his passing number in half to like 23. So I think they're like, hey, this guy is just rushing the hell out of the ball. We're going to stop passing to him. He's just a running back, and that's it.
So Adam Schefter just said, going back to us talking about the D-line for the Giants, that they picked up Kayvon Thibodeau's 5th-year option, which I don't know why they did that right after picking Abdul Carter, because if they did not pick him, they would especially need to pick it up. But
Right.
they just announced that after they picked him. So they're going to have a very, very strong defensive line with Burns, Thibodeau, and Abdul Carter.
That is really going to be a force to be reckoned with. I mean,
But that's it. That's all they got on the entire team.
And then on the offensive side, you got Malik Neighbors. And that's it.
Yes.
Who's going to throw to him? Nobody knows. Who's going to rush? Nobody knows. Who's going to protect? Nobody knows. But other than that, I mean, as you're running through the depth chart on the Giants, you've got Malik Neighbors, Darius Slay, Andrew Thomas, John Runyon, John Michael Schmitz Jr. I have trouble not singing about that guy. Greg Van Rotten, Jermaine Illuminor, Theo Johnson, and at quarterback, it's spicy Russell Wilson. So, I mean, great, that's fine, but I feel like that should have been that should have gone in the way of offense, but I understand when you have a top pick.
Here we go.
All right,
Jets picking
Jets.
25 NFL Draft. The New York Jets select Armand Membu, Missouri. Tackle.
All right, Armand Membu. I mean, that's a guy that when February hit, he was really not in the first round conversation, and then he absolutely dazzled my friends at the combine and shot up the boards, and now he's picked 7th overall. I mean, I like it. I think that's the pick for them. I mean, they needed somebody to be on that offensive line. They've been trying to build the offensive line for a while now. I mean, last year they got Olufashnu.
Oh, yes.
From Penn State. So now he's your bookend left tackle. Now you have Membu as your right tackle. You have
Panthers pick quick.
Oh my gosh. What the hell are they going after that's that quick? I mean, some of the rumors I heard was the top linebacker, Jalen Walker.
They could get a weapon for Bryce Young with Tyler Warren, maybe?
It's possible. It's possible. I'm trying to think. I mean, I think it has to be. I think it has to be somebody on the defense. Well, I'm gonna say the defense or the offense, but obviously I don't know what else.
I think those are the only 2 options.
Yeah.
Well, unless you want to get a kicker.
Pick a kicker with the 8th overall pick. Maybe if you're going offensive line, you could go after Calvin Banks Jr. But I don't know about that. But like you said, they picked pretty darn quickly. Oh, maybe wide receiver. Go after Ted McMillan.
Yeah.
Possible. Well, yeah, I think he's gonna be your top guy. If
Here we go.
you sure? Goodell's not even stepping up to the mic.
Oh.
You're gonna find out who the Bears are gonna pick.
Well, they haven't traded away their 10th pick yet.
No, they have not. I still feel like there might be some movement there, but I think a lot of it's going to be dependent on who's Carolina and New Orleans taken. You know, is it something where do the Bears have their heart set on somebody? And I think as we go through this draft, there's certain guys I was hoping were going to fall that did not. But I think, let me see here. I had prospect here. So my dreams were Abdul Carter, Mason Graham. Never should have thought that. And then my 3 that I had under the very happy category was Will Campbell. Obviously, he went to the Pats. Ashton Gentile went 6. And then Tyler Ward. I had a couple of other guys that I had on my list, but I specifically said on there I'd be happy if we got them and we traded out. And those guys would be Calvin Banks. I'd be okay with Jalen Walker because he can also rush the passer. I'd be okay with if we strike out on Tyler Warren going after Colston Loveland from Michigan. And if we traded down and we were really insistent that we wanted to get that running back, Amarian Hampton from North Carolina. But those guys, I don't think I would be thrilled if they picked him at 10. Those guys are, I would say, those last 4. So Banks, Walker, Loveland, Hampton. I'd be happy if they traded down and got them.
I don't like Hampton just because he went to North Carolina. And the last time that the Bears got somebody from North Carolina in the first round, it was Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
That's it. Nothing about Hampton.
Yeah.
Just I don't trust North Carolina giving a good first-round pick.
It's a principle of the matter.
It is.
I mean, that's just what it comes down to.
The only good thing that came out of Carolina was Michael Jordan.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's a good point. It's okay. So we're like 1 for 2. Give us a Michael Jordan. You give us a Mitch Trubisky. I mean, I don't know. Kind of evens out, maybe possibly.
So if you like the tight ends between Warren and Loveland, one of the two would be available. You would imagine whoever the Panthers don't take. Some people had Loveland right up there with Warren as far as the best tight end in the draft.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my whole thing is I'm trying to figure out a good fit for the Ben Johnson scheme. I think Ben Johnson is, as we saw in Detroit, is a very crafty playmaker, and I feel like somebody like Tyler Warren would be a really good fit for the Bears and that specific play style. When I was kind of looking up some of what Tyler Warren did for Penn State, they used him in a lot of different ways. So just looking at last year, they ended up 104 passes for 1,233 yards. They also gave him 26 rush attempts. They played him as, I understand that wasn't all the time, but they played him a couple of times in the Wildcat and had him throwing. They had him on kick and punt returns. So they had him in a lot of different ways. He's kind of that Swiss Army knife kind of guy that I think Ben Johnson would have a really fun time getting to play around with. And granted, I know we have Cole Kmet, and I think that Cole Kmet's a hell of a tight end, but I think that having somebody like Tyler Warren, I think would actually be a good complement to Cole Kmet.
Yeah.
With the 8th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Teteroa McMillan.
Ted
Wide
McMillan!
receiver, Arizona.
Wow. Okay.
That tight end might be available.
Tyler Warren might be available.
Yeah.
What a cool necklace. That's probably not
Not the
correct
gold
for it.
one, right?
No, like I'm assuming it's some sort of lei or something.
I would assume that.
I mean, he's from Hawaii.
Yeah. Yeah, that would fit, right?
He is from Hawaii. I do know that, but
Personally, I'm also a fan of the purple suit, but that's just me.
The Bears were back to get Warren for quite a while. And it might come true because I don't think the Saints are going to take him.
I don't know what the Saints are going to do. I mean, I said Shedeur, but I don't know. Do you guys think they go quarterback?
They need one.
well, they have Derek Carr, and Derek Carr just said that he's hurt still.
Right.
So it's hard to say if they have a quarterback or not.
Right. That's what I just feel like makes this entire thing more complicated. Is like, what are we going off of? Are we going off of the fact that Carr is going to be hurt? And is it something where you're going to start investing long term now? I mean, I think that going back to Perrier's comments at the beginning of this podcast, we said that whoever picks Shedeur Sanders might need a long leash. And I mean, that is Mickey Loomis, the GM for the Saints. And they just hired Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. So to me, those are two guys that have a long leash right now. So I feel like that fits.
Saints pick is in.
Saints pick is in. Right now we have Derek Carr, Spencer Rattler are your 1 and 2 right now. As well as Jake Hayner and Ben DiNucci.
Ben DiNucci.
So we got Ben DiNucci. I mean, that's the future plan. Fantastic. Oh, wow. Wow. Ted McMillan laying Roger Goodell.
Wow.
Yeah.
He got laid.
He did.
Roger Goodell got laid
Finally.
on live TV.
Amazing.
With the money he makes, I think he gets laid a lot.
This is, of course, why people tune into our podcast. You don't know what you're going to hear from us. It might be good. It might not be. It is what it is.
Quality content.
Always.
This is an interesting pick at 9 with the Saints. I don't know which
The
direction it's gonna
broadcast just said that he was a high school teammate of Mason Graham.
Interesting. Just don't have a beat on the Saints at all.
go. Yeah, I don't know what their needs were. We knew the quarterback, but besides for that, I'm not sure.
I mean, the other thing is if you were going pass rusher, there's some pass rushers still on the board. I mean, at one point, I'm not guaranteeing that that's going to be the case, but Shamar Stewart was thrown out there from Texas A&M. I don't know about that one. I mean, the big thing with Shamar Stewart was that he had 4.5 sacks over his 3 years in college. Any good in this game? But the thing is that he had the intangibles, which the question then comes up. You need somebody that can take Shamar Stewart that is willing to mold him and be able to make him into something. I mean, he's 6'6", 291, rushing the passer.
Yeah, if the Saints don't take quarterback, that 10 spot might be valuable to somebody that wants to come up and swoop in and take the second best quarterback in the draft.
I agree. My only question is, as I'm going down the list, like let's say you're Pittsburgh and you're picking at 21. Who is picking a quarterback over you? Is it the 49ers? No. Cowboys? No. Dolphins? No. Colts? No. Falcons? No. Cardinals? No. Bengals? No. Seahawks? No. Bucks? No. Broncos? No. And then you're ending up at the Steelers. So why trade up when nobody else is going to, unless you fear somebody else trading up over you?
Yeah.
So much chess here. So much mental gymnastics to figure out what people are thinking here.
With the 9th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Kelvin Banks Jr.
Kelvin Banks
Texas.
Jr. Wow.
Kelvin Banks.
All right, offensive line.
It's the third offensive tackle taken in 9
Whoa.
picks.
Oh, that poor baby just got woken up.
Whoa, poor child. Oh my God.
Is that his baby? I mean, he
I don't
kissed the
know.
woman with the baby.
Yeah, so
probably is his baby, but as soon as he got drafted,
that baby
the-
woke up.
the mom started clapping, and baby's head was going back and forth, getting smacked.
You think the Bears wanted an offensive tackle? Or were hoping that he'd be available? Or are they going to be happy with Warren?
I think.
Oh, baby just puked.
God.
That's what happens when you bang him around.
Oh, poor little man. Poor little man. Dad's having a good day, not so much son.
Anyway, you were saying?
I think the thing is that when we were...
Bears pick is in already. They must have been waiting to take Warren.
I think it has to be Tyler
They jumped
Warren.
on it right off the bat. They probably said, if he's available, we're taking this guy.
I think it's Tyler Warren, right? I
gotta
mean,
be.
who else would they be this excited about?
Yeah.
I mean, as I'm looking through my board, I don't think it's any of the corners, obviously. I don't think it's any of the running backs. I mean, really, the top guy would be Tyler Warren. I mean, if that is the pick, I think he's going to be a really good fit. I mean, Kuiper had him as the 7th best player. Phil Yates had him as the 7th best player. Jordan Reed had him as the 10th, and Matt Miller had him as the 9th. I mean, overall, he would be a consensus good pick if that's where the Bears go. I mean, this is what we've been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. This is the pick that we have been waiting for this entire night. I think it's got to be Tyler Warren.
Yeah. I can't imagine it being anybody else.
I mean, going back to the Saints pick just really quickly, I think that for me, I said that Kelvin Banks Jr. was one of the guys that if we traded down, I'd have been willing to take. So him going at 9, I'm not really 100% sold on that part. But, I mean, we're going to find out. So I think it's very interesting that 3 offensive tackles went in that top 9. I mean, that just seems like a lot of guys in which went at the same position.
Okay, why are we advertising the schedule being released? Like, who actually cares? We want to get back to the draft, right?
Well, like Robert said, I mean, it's Green Bay. They're messing with us now.
That's fair.
They're trolling us, like the kids say.
That's very nice.
And
Okay.
you know what? I'm going to dare to say that this podcast is busted.
Oh, God. No, just stop.
Why?
Just stop.
I mean, I can continue to come up with the cool
No,
kids
we're
words
good.
until the pick comes in.
We're good.
No, you don't want to do that?
No.
I mean, I can go back to our other podcast and start singing Wicked songs for you.
I mean, that would be better.
The bussin'?
Yeah.
Am I on fleek?
I thought you said you were going to stop.
I'm sorry, you're right. Kelvin Banks Jr. He was 2024 Consensus All-American, unanimous. He won the 2024 John Outland Award as well as the 2024 Vince Lombardi Award. I mean, kind of getting an idea of where they had him ranked. Kuiper had him as the 13th best player. Phil Yates had him as the 13th best player. Jordan Reed had him as the 20th. And Matt Miller had him as the 8th. So picking him at 9, I don't know, kind of feel like it's a bit of a reach. All right, well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bears pick. Let's go over to Roger Goodell.
Yesterday, the NFL family lost a true legend, Bears Hall of Famer Steve McMichael. My heart is with the McMichael family during this incredibly difficult time. Misty, please know that you are in our thoughts and prayers. Mongo's remarkable contributions to the game and the community will never be forgotten. His legacy will continue to inspire generations to come. 50 years ago, with the 4th pick in the 1975 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears selected one of Steve McMichael's teammates and closest friends,
Walter Payton.
Walter Payton, running back, Jackson State. Walter would go on to rush for nearly 17,000 yards and 110 touchdowns over 13 seasons, all with the Chicago Bears. As you heard earlier, the NFL continues to honor Sweetness not only for his performance and excellence on the field, but also his commitment to give back to his community with the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award. So with the 10th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Colston Loveland.
What?
Tight end.
What are you doing? No!
Colston Loveland.
Man!
Grew up on a farm in Bliss, Idaho.
They could have gone down to get you.
258 people. He caught his first touchdown against Ohio State as a freshman. He caught 9 more the last 2 years. He caught 56 catches in 10 games last year, most by a tight end in school history, a finalist for the Mackey Award. Now, interesting that he goes ahead of Tyler Warren, who had been expected to be the first tight end off the draft.
Colts at 14, got to be sitting there hoping Tyler Warren slides down to them a few picks from now. But look at Colston Loveland. His shoulder injury is going to be fine, ready for camp, no issue there. They had quarterback problem in Michigan with J.J. McCarthy moving on to the NFL. His 56 catches, single-season record for a tight end, so he was still productive. He can stretch the deep middle. He's a tremendous athlete. He snatched the ball with his hands. Blocking needs to improve. But what they want, they have Cole Kmet. They want a third receiving option, a receiving entity. Not what Brock Bowers was last year. You have DJ Moore. You have Romo Dunze for Caleb Williams. Now you add that big-time receiver. He can get down the middle of the field, and he can make big catches, and he has run after the catch ability in Colston Loveland.
Very rarely, Brady, do you get a tight end that can threaten the defense at all 3 levels. Short, intermediate, and he can go deep. As a defender, we don't prepare for tight ends to go 30, 40, 50 yards down the field. He can do that. Essentially, he plays like a big wide receiver. And you talk about the matchup problems. Giving a young quarterback another chess piece to work with. This is the ultimate. I think Sean Payton calls him a joker. This is the ultimate joker now that Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears have for Caleb Williams.
Yeah, the thing about it, though, about him is the fact that even though he is such a great athlete and he comes off the ball so fast and can really stretch the middle of the field so quickly, if you go 12 personnel, right, with 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and you go sub and put a defensive back on the field, this guy will maul a defensive back in the run game. If you go with a light box and go nickel, because he will block your rear end off. This is look, Ben Johnson, this is exactly the kind of chess piece he wants, man. Caleb Williams, too. He has to be looking at him going, this is perfect.
Colston Loveland, the 3rd tight end selected by the Bears in the first round since 1960. One of them was Mike Ditka in 1961. The Niners will choose next on ESPN.
Interesting.
What are we thinking here, guys?
I guess Ben Johnson felt that he fit better into what he wanted to do than versus Warren.
Well, it might just come down to, like they were saying, you have Cole Kmet,
Yeah.
So maybe you don't need a traditional tight end. So maybe this guy, maybe Loveland's not like as much a tight end. He's more of a third wide receiver that somewhat could block, maybe better than a wide receiver. So maybe the Bears thought, okay, we don't see a wide receiver that we like as much, so we'll get a tight end that acts like a wide receiver, and maybe that's what they're thinking.
Wow.
You got Cole Kmet on one end of the line doing the actual blocking part, and then you have Loveland that's able to threaten you at all three levels, like they said. You can go short, medium, or deep.
Definitely surprised me. That was not what I thought was going to happen there.
Where was he being predicted to go in the draft?
On Kuiper's board was number 12. Field Yates was 11. Jordan Reed was 16, and Matt Miller was 6.
Okay, so he didn't really move up too much from what most of the predictions were saying then.
I think my issue, though, was going back to Tyler Warren, who was still on the board. You had Kuiper at 7, Yates at 7, Reed at 10, and Miller at 9. I mean, to me, they play the exact same position. Here's my analysis. I think that I trust Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson said that this is our guy. This is the guy that we want. Obviously, you saw how fast they got that pick in there. They must be pretty damn sure that Loveland is the future, and that, Tyler Warren wasn't the chess piece like they said that Loveland was.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't guarantee that, but gosh.
Yeah, I mean, you can say we could trade down and still get him. The thing is you don't. It matters on how he does. It really
Absolutely.
does. Like, it doesn't. If, let's say, he's just fantastic, we won't look in a couple of years and say, oh, we drafted him too early. We could have gotten some draft capital and gotten him at 15 or whatever. That's all that matters is if he's good. So if you trust Ben Johnson,
which I do,
then you have to accept that. Like, if you look at Detroit, so if you think about them getting Jahmyr Gibbs a couple of years ago.
And Jack Campbell.
Yeah, they said, okay, you're getting him way too early. Jahmyr Gibbs is good, but that's too early to get him in the first round. But I haven't heard anyone say, oh, Gibbs, yeah, we took him too early now. I mean, it's just,
that's fair.
If that's the guy and that guy works, you don't care what you gave up.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really, really good point. I mean, I do trust Ben Johnson, and I think that the big thing is that I have to, as a ride or die fan here. I mean, it's something where I was super excited when they signed Ben Johnson. I've been very vocal on the podcast that I think that Ben Johnson has the potential to be the best Bears coach of all time. I think it was muchly needed. I mean, I gotta continue to go with I trust Ben Johnson, and if he thinks that this was the guy, then great. I mean, let's see what it looks like on the football field. I just don't want to get a couple of years down the road and we find out that we passed on Tyler Warren for Loveland and it doesn't work out. But
have another Mahomes situation.
Yeah, but the thing is, when I'm going back, I mean, when they picked Trubisky over Mahomes, that was with John Fox, and that was on his last year. He was on his way out. I didn't really have as much faith as I do with like the Ben Johnson regime.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I think that's the big thing. Is like I've seen a lot of mocks, and Loveland was not going to 10 at the Bears, a majority of them.
I hope at some point they're going to come up with a pass rusher, because how many games we watched last year when finally we did do some stuff on offense, and then our defense got in the field, and they just couldn't stop a thing. And like, come on, get in there, and it was never happening. They got the center, they got the two guards, and they got the tight end. So doing plenty on the offensive side of the ball. Maybe in the second round, we'll see if they do something on the defense.
Yeah.
They did get
Dio Digbo.
Yeah.
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 I think I just got to watch a couple games in order to pronounce his name properly. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining me for our NFL podcast today. So, Bears, Colston Loveland, any final thoughts on what we saw here tonight?
Well, from what we had thought was going to happen when we heard some guys might be going up and down in the draft, really there was only one trade, and it was kind of minor, where we had the swap with the 2 and the 5 pick. But other than that, everything kind of went according to plan, except for the Bears picked a different tight end than we thought that they were going to pick. But time will tell.
Yeah, Adam Schefter lied to me. He said it's going to be crazy. One of the most crazy drafts of all time. He lied to me.
No, Paul said explosive. I don't know, man. This is not explosive.
My take is that they picked people, and none of them meant anything to me because I didn't know any of the names.
Thank you for your contribution.
You're
I'm
welcome.
really glad that you're here.
I'm just here for the food.
All right, so from all of us here at Two Pup Conversion, happy draft day. We will be back next week to go over postmortem some of the other draft picks that were made. So have a good rest of your day.
Bye.